Isaiah Austin was one of the most intriguing draft prospects in the 2014 NBA draft, but unfortunately, because of some medical concerns found just before the 2014 NBA draft, Isaiah Austin was unable to enter or play in the NBA, and it leaves fans wondering how good he could have been. So in today's video, we'll talk about Isaiah Austin, his potential, and how good he might have become had he been able to play in the NBA. Anyways, let's get right into it. If you have not already, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It goes a long way in helping my channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. But getting right into things, Isaiah Austin was a top 3 recruit coming out of high school before he attended Baylor University. And while he was at Baylor, he had a very solid 2-year career in college. Isaiah Austin was easily the most physically imposing player in the 2014 NBA draft class because he stood at 7 feet tall with a standing reach of 9 feet 4.5 inches, which is absolutely ridiculous and was way bigger than any other player in that draft class. However, despite being one of the biggest, if not the biggest guy in the 2014 NBA draft, he was also very skilled, and he also had very good athleticism, being that he had very good speed and quickness, especially for a guy his size. On the offensive end, he could attack the basket from the perimeter, he could also finish around the rim with both hands, and he also had a little bit of a jump shot. He was that ideal stretch big that we see in the NBA today, that the NBA is moving more towards, where bigger guys can shoot, where positions 1 through 5 are able to shoot the 3 ball. Isaiah Austin was doing this back in 2014, and obviously his combination of size and quickness and speed helped him loads on the defensive end as well. Now, despite Isaiah Austin's very unique skill set, especially for a guy of his size, he was also very inconsistent, especially on the offensive end. One game, he would show his complete arsenal, hitting threes, scoring with both hands on the inside, attacking the basket, setting plays up for his teammates, and another game, he would just completely disappear on the offensive end and not produce anything. This was kind of the story his entire college career. One game he would show up, one game he wouldn't. His offense during college at Baylor was just very inconsistent, but because of the potential that he showed and because of his unique skill set, like I said, he was a projected first-round pick in the 2014 NBA draft. In his 2-year career at Baylor, he averaged 12.1 points per game, 6.9 rebounds per game, 1.2 assists per game on 45% shooting from the field, as well as 2.4 blocks per game. So obviously nothing special with those numbers. In fact, the only numbers of his that were really impressive were the 2.4 blocks per game. But besides that, very average numbers, especially for a guy who was supposed to be an elite center. But like I mentioned before, despite this last lackluster stat line, he was a very unique prospect in terms of his size and the skills that he had. So teams were maybe willing to take a risk on him or willing to take him and develop him into becoming a more consistent offensive player. Unfortunately, this is the part of the story where things turn for the worst. In his pre-draft medical exams, Marfan syndrome was discovered, which rendered Isaiah Austin unable to play in the NBA. This goal, this dream that Isaiah Austin had been working and grinding for since he was a kid, came within weeks of him reaching it, and then it was ripped away from him and it was found to be no longer attainable. Now, the NBA did make him an honorary draft pick. They offered him a career in the NBA, which was very cool of them, but obviously this is just not the same as being an NBA player, as being drafted by a team in the NBA, which would have definitely happened had Isaiah Austin not had Marfan syndrome. If there is any bright side to the story, it's that Isaiah Austin, after sitting out a few years and getting cleared to play, was able to play professionally overseas, and even though he will never ever be able to play in the NBA, which is obviously his ultimate goal, he was still able to become a pro basketball player, and he's had a very successful career in his overseas leagues. However, you also have to wonder how good he would have been in the NBA. I think with his style of play, with his size, with his skill set, all of the things that I talked about earlier, I think that he had the potential to be a very good center in the modern style of the NBA. He was a guy who was shooting threes, a guy who was 7 feet tall with huge arms who protected the rim at an elite level. So just for those reasons, I think that if Isaiah Austin was able to play in the NBA, he would have had a very, very impact on whatever team he went to. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please leave your thoughts on Isaiah Austin in the comment section down below. How good you think he would have been in the NBA, what you think would have happened if he would have played in the NBA. Just let me know all that in the comment section down below, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.